So for you, what would you say has been the most difficult part of writing?
Oh, um, I think the most difficult part of writing is writing. um, it's the butt in the chair, get it done. I mean, I'll be talking about this in my webinar on getting it done. And a lot of it is what John Gardner, who is a novelist, used to call staying inside that vivid, continuous dream. In order to be able to write uh, in a way that just holds together from page after page after page after page, you do have to get inside that space and be in that space for a while, inside that vivid, continuous dream. That's certainly true for fiction. And I found with nonfiction, there's kind of an argument or a point they're trying to make, your thesis, if you will, and you have to sustain that argument over 250 pages. You have to be driving at that thesis over and over and over again. Or if it's a collection of essays, you're painting a kind of portrait of life, and you have to be continuous in those brushstrokes and how it is that you're laying out this image and pulling forth something that the reader is going to connect with. And to stay inside that space is really hard. But for me, it's not external problems and issues that keep me from writing. I'd like to say it is like, oh, my son has another poopy diaper. Great, that bumps me out of the vivid, continuous dream. Or breaks the argument right when I feel like I'm right at that place where I'm ready to make my point well. I could say that's the problem, but it's more often stuff inside me that pulls me away from the work right when I'm getting ready to stay inside that dream. So I think the actual butt in the chair is the hardest.
And so do you have a particular writing schedule that helps you stay in the chair?
Um, well, before we could talk about this before I had kids and after I had kids. My first 8 or so books were before children, and I could have I was able to set a much more scheduled routine for myself. And it often kind of followed my husband's work schedule. So his day off was my day off. He would leave for the day at whatever time in the morning, and that's when I would get started. I would get up, I would shower, I would eat breakfast, I would get dressed, I would put makeup on, I would sit down, and I would work like this was my job. I would take a break at lunch. Sometimes I'd still be eating at the computer. And so I actually had a for real schedule. When the kids came along, it was a lot harder. And so we have found a rhythm of, days off where the boys are in daycare or with dad. And that's just designated time. I don't make a casserole. I don't, do other work. I write. That's what I do. And then I also have to set writing retreats, particularly if I know a deadline is coming up and I have to leave. I have to go away for like 4 or 5 days. And we've just learned that I have to do that. So I can keep inside that dream and sustain that argument. And that's just what I have to do.